Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Out Shooting Film. My name is Chalisa, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about my favorite film camera of all time. So, this might be a very bold statement to say, but this camera, the Olympus XA2, is probably my favorite camera, my favorite film camera of all time. Like, it is a very bold statement, but I'm gonna stick with it for now because of how much I love this camera. This camera was invented in the 1980s by a Japanese designer called Yoshihisa Maitani. If you don't know him, he is like godsend. So he's basically responsible for a lot of Olympus film cameras in the past. He designed the Olympus pen, also the Olympus OM series, the Olympus XAs, and also later helped design as like a backup designer for the Olympus Mu as well. And so if you guys love Olympus and you guys don't know this guy, like, you should probably read up on him because he's like very good. Like he's such a great designer. He was like that good that Leica tried to like buy him from Olympus. Like, that was how good the guy was at designing great cameras. Okay, so the Olympus XA series a little differs a little bit. So the original Olympus XA is a rangefinder camera, while as the Olympus XA2 3 and 4 is a zone focusing camera. The camera that I have is the Olympus XA2, which with a 35mm lens f2.8, the ISO goes from 25 to 800, and also comes with the A11 flash. The reason why I love this camera so much is it basically taught me how to zone focus. So how this camera focus is, you focus by changing the focus through like these three icons. So the first icon is up here is the mountain, which goes from 6.3 meters to infinity, while as the default focus goes from 1.8 meters to 6.3, while as the closest focus this camera can go is from 1.2 to 1.6 meters. So this camera is not for shooting up close. It's definitely built for street photography. This is my favorite camera because it taught me how to zone focus. It's very compact, very easy to shoot. Like, you might get a little bit confused at first of how to focus. It's just how you like you kind of have to get used to kind of like just like estimating the length between you and the subject. So I'm gonna kind of suggest to you how to how to focus this camera. And like, basically this camera is also like already designed to help you focus the camera by these icons. So if you see the mountains, I guess that's like very easy. It's infinity when you're taking a scene. But I feel like what a lot of people get very confused about is the last two, the default full-length body people one and the half body people one. So like, that's already what you need to know. If you're away from a person that is like, you can see their entire body in the frame, you can just like set it to default. Or if you're shooting someone who is like half body, you can just change it to like the closer focus one. Like that's how easy it is. Like it's quite it's a little bit confusing at first, but if you're thinking that way, I feel like it can help you focus this camera a little bit better. So one of the reasons why I really love this camera is it's kind of manual, where you kind of adjust the focus by yourself. You can adjust the ISO, which goes from 25 to 800, and because it doesn't have a DX code reader, you can kind of push and pull the film however you like. So it's not like a compact camera where you're stuck with what the camera decides. This gives you the freedom to kind of experiment and have a little bit more fun with your photography. This camera also has a very fast and very slow shutter. It can have a very fast or very slow shutter speed. And I feel like this is a little trick that a lot of people don't really know. But if you can see, if you look inside the viewfinder, and if there's if there's a green light, that's the camera way of telling you that it's gonna use the slow shutter speed, because it's in low light condition. So it will, maybe you need to open a flash or turn the ISO a little bit longer. One of the things that I really love is how the flash opens. It opens through the camera. There's a little lever in front of the camera that you can push, and then the flash pops up. One thing is you have to wait a little bit for the flash to charge up a little bit, and then you can fire the shutter, which is really cool. I just really love how everything about this camera is very well designed. I love how it's so easy to open. You can just slide it open, slide again, close. So because of how small this camera is, you can easily fit it in your pocket, and you can open it with one hand, get the camera ready in your pocket, and then take it out, fire a shot, and then just walk away. And it's not as offensive as using an SLR to shoot someone in the face. It's I just love this camera. And also I love how quiet the shutter is. It's so light compared to a normal SLR camera where the mirrors just slap up and down, and it's just everyone just hears the shutter. So that's why it's so perfect for street photography. And for me, I feel this camera is the definition of a point and shoot. When people say compact autofocus camera or point and shoot, I don't really agree, because when I tried to do street photography with, for example, my Contax T2, I find it a little more difficult to point and shoot because it's an autofocus camera. You kind of have to press half for the camera to find the focus, and then press the full shot for it to shoot. While as these, the moment you open this camera, it is ready to shoot at 1.6 to 6.3. So you can just quickly open the camera and then press the shutter, and then that's it. That's the photo taken. That's how easy it is to take photos with this camera. Also, fun fact, this camera is very nicely designed so for street photography, because I feel most streets is taken within 1 meter to 5 or 6, which is what this camera is set to default in. Even though you've already fired a shot at a closer distance or at infinity, and you forgot to change the focus length, when you close the camera immediately sets itself back to default of 1.6 to 6.3 focusing length. So it prepares you for when you open your camera again to shoot your next shot at the perfect focal length. Like, I just love this. It's just, you guys, this is such a nicely designed camera. It's also like very small. If you take out the flash, that's how small it is. You guys, it fits nicely in my hand, and I love the shape of this, like, kind of like, it's basically called a capsule camera for a reason of how cute and small, very friendly for both like male and female to get into either street photography or just like film photography in general. It's just very great, very portable, it makes photography really fun, especially with like street photography. I feel like not just street, just like snapping photos in general. It just feels like snapping. Like whenever I use this camera, I feel like I just use up film so easily because it's just so fun to shoot. It kind of feels like a disposable camera, but it's not disposable, which is like makes it really fun. Also, I feel like I produced photos that I really love the most with this camera because of how easy I can make a shot, but also I love how it's just like I don't know how the lens works or like how the lens is designed, but it gives like a really nice contrast and saturation to the photos, unlike other cameras. And like I get asked this quite a lot on like Instagram of like what film I use with this camera and what film I recommend. My favorite film to use with this camera is the Kodak Ultramax 400, and my favorite film of all time, the Lomography 400. I feel like the combination of like this camera paired with those two films just gives like a really nice contrast, great saturation. It just gives like the photo full of life, and with this perfect 35mm length that this camera have, it just like it's just so beautiful, guys. Like, oh, I really love this camera. I never expected to love this camera as much as I thought I was going to. Like, this wasn't really in my bucket list. So basically the reason why I bought this camera was because I saw it on a YouTube channel and they were talking about how fun it is to shoot and how easy how fun it is, how easy it is to use and to shoot with. And that got me interested because I wanted to start shooting street with a film camera. So I decided to buy this camera out of the blue, and it basically ends up being like my favorite film camera of all time. Like, I would even say like I love this camera more than my Contax T2 because I feel like I don't have to be as careful, because it's not like as careful with when I'm using my Contax T2, because like the body is plastic and like it's very affordable, because I'm really offended by this of how underrated this camera is. Like, it's very underrated, guys. Like, compared to the Olympus XA2, like this camera is very underrated considering of how like nicely designed it is. So in conclusion, before this video gets too long, I would really recommend this camera to all if you guys are considering just like getting into film without like a large budget, or if you're interested in like starting to shoot street with film. This camera is like, I would really recommend this camera to you guys. Like, I can't recommend anyone enough about this camera. I just really love this camera. And if you guys decide to pick this up, like please share your comments down below of what you think of this camera, because I feel like there's like a very small community of us who like really appreciates this, like this little beauty right here. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you want to see more sample pictures of this camera, please check my Instagram out at outshootingfilm. And so yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give a like and a thumbs up, and please subscribe if you're new to my channel, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.